Welcome to Mysteries, Myths, and Legends. I'm Taylor.
I'm Savannah.
And happy Wednesday. Guys, I drugged Savannah to see a movie with me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really good. It was really
Shocker,
good.
Savannah likes a movie.
No, we've been getting into movies. We've been
Yeah.
getting into movies.
I have
Actually,
been
was
forcing
just
her.
talking to people about this recently. I'm like, just about all the movies that I've been going to see recently. So,
Love that. Yeah, I'm turning Savannah into a movie watcher, even though she refuses it most times.
I don't, though.
Slowly but surely.
You're a
I'm
liar.
working on you.
I don't refuse.
No, you're
I'll
right.
go.
It helps that our local movie theater has heated seats.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a big motivation to go.
Yeah, definitely. We saw Blink twice.
Yes, it was crazy.
And if you want to see it the same way that we did, don't look up anything about it before you go.
We had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
We didn't even know what the genre of the movie was.
No. And watching the previews, I thought it was still going to be different than it even was.
Yeah.
I was very shocked. And I love that. I love not knowing. I feel like it always makes the movie better.
Yeah. Yeah. We should do that more.
No expectations. Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
We should. I did hear about another movie.
Ooh, okay.
So,
okay.
I don't know anything about it though. Once again.
Okay, well, there we go. Perfect.
Other than what it's called. So, But I must say, happy freaking 4th birthday to my niece Everline.
Oh my God.
She's not listening right now, but maybe one day.
Yeah.
You know?
She's going to go back and listen to every episode.
She would. She loves the creepy things.
Yeah,
So she would. So happy 4th
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
So cute. I love that. I can't wait to celebrate. I think we're going to Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh my God, it's just so
If
fun.
this is Everly, you did not hear that. That's so funny.
Yeah, that's so fun.
Yeah.
Are you going to win all the prizes?
Okay. So one thing about Everly is that Chuck E. Cheese is her favorite place in the world. We've taken her multiple times.
Right.
And I did just take her like 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
And Chucky, if you're listening, I'm so sorry for what I'm about to do to you right now. I don't mean to call out the rat.
Oh, what are you going to say?
Guys, it's not just because I'm an adult now.
Okay.
They have actually, I'm so sorry, Chucky. They have rigged all of the games.
Oh, really?
Where like the most tickets you can win at a game is like 8.
What?
Like most games is 1 ticket prize. Unless you beat like the top score of the game.
Do you get one every time?
No, not every game. So obviously
They don't
she
want
wants
these kids to have prizes.
No, they're cheap. That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry, Chucky. Don't get mad at me, but you are. Like that's a ripoff. And like it's half the games are missing from when I was kids. Like it's not as full of games. So then the selection is even less.
You know, you talking about that kind of makes me want to go to Dave and Buster's.
No, Dave and Buster's, they do not be ripping you off.
What
with
if
the tickets.
we should go.
Okay, we should
Get some
absolutely
people
go.
together.
I'm down. Everly's gonna want to go, but we don't have to take her.
Yeah.
Oh, love that. What show have you been watching, Savannah?
I've been obsessed recently with One Tree Hill.
Yes, finally.
I don't even remember what season I'm on, but I could tell you like what part, but I don't want to spoil.
Okay.
I guess.
Spoilers ahead for One Tree Hill because I need to know.
So I just stopped on the episode where Lucas, no, what the heck? Why am I forgetting everyone's name?
His brother.
No, Keith Scott, he was getting married and their wedding got like ruined because she was a runaway bride.
Yeah. That's the tea.
All because of Lucas's mom. Yeah.
Karen.
She ruined it. And also we're in the midst of Nathan, his wife is currently on tour as a musician. Yeah, Haley.
Shout out Haley.
And Nathan's not taking it too well. So it is a lot of drama in this show, and I love it.
Is.
It's just like the kind of small town drama that's like if it's not happening in your own life, it's like it's fun to watch this on TV.
Exactly. It's so good. Wait, have you so if you don't know, One Tree Hill is some to Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Me and Savannah did live there for many years.
Yeah.
Have you seen like all the places that they are?
Yes.
Like Galloway is in the back.
Oh, I don't know if
you've
I
got
saw
there,
that part, but I definitely saw like the basketball court.
Oh, yeah.
Down by the river. Like the river walk and the basketball courts that aren't even there anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, no.
But you can tell from the background where it is.
Yep. They did used to be there.
Yeah.
Now it's a parking lot for the battleship. Rest in peace to those basketball courts. It's so sad. Yeah, we should go to Wilmington and do like the One Tree Hill tour. Like we go everywhere. Because I've always wanted to do that, but I never did that when I lived there.
We have to.
We have to. Or like we can recreate the intro.
Yeah.
With the basketball on the bridge. Because that is actually still there. I have driven over that.
We're going to do it.
Love that. Wait, what's the song of the intro?
I don't want to be
anyone but I've been trying to be lately. Yeah. If you haven't watched One Tree Hill, you have to go watch it. Because also, fun fact, they just announced that they're doing like a spin-off series of...
Of what? Wait.
I can't tell you.
Why?
Because...
Oh, it's a spoiler.
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't
of some characters who are in One Tree Hill.
Okay. I didn't know
and
like them being together or something. Kind of.
I just won't say anything, but it's returning characters grown up in their adult lives.
Okay. I haven't actually seen anything about this.
Good.
So.
Don't look it up.
Okay. Yeah. I will
keep
once
watching in your merry way.
Maybe by the time that I'm finished, it'll be out.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just getting started.
Oh, well.
So I think you got some time.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing because there's lots of episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, One Tree Hill ran over, except for it's never really over because I just love it so much. We really do. I made my mom watch it too. She's obsessed.
Yeah.
I mean, she finished it already.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah.
Well, anyways, do you want to get into your story and get into what we're really here for on this podcast?
Yeah. Let's get into it.
The One Tree Hill podcast, but it should be.
So I'm going to be talking about another small town, though. Oh. So, not Tree Hill, but Doveland, Wisconsin.
Oh, never heard of it. Small.
Never? That's what I was going to ask, too.
No,
but, so, in my life. This town, is just a normal small town in Wisconsin. But in the 1990s, it disappeared.
What do you mean it disappeared?
So, people, allegedly... They, remember being there and living there and, have relatives that have lived there. They're like, this place was real. And they even have, there's T-shirts, mugs, souvenirs from the town. Allegedly they came from this town, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the town has been, erased from existence otherwise. People, it doesn't, there's no actual record of it. But people remember it. And honestly, this is, spoiler alert, but, this does remind me of season 4 of The Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
A little bit, that part of it, because...
Oh, that actually literally happens.
Yeah.
In the show.
Yeah, kind of. So...
that's crazy.
So, yeah, this town disappeared. It's gone. And usually, if a town disappears, there's going to be some records, census data, records of public officials, property records, state archives, official stuff, or even, on an old map, and there's nothing.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Who erased this little town, and why? What are they hiding?
I don't know.
That's so weird.
There's
because there's records of ghost towns. We talk about them all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no record of this place. There is a photo that was supposedly taken there, but there's nothing. There's no actual proof that it was taken there. People are just whoever took it, they're like, no, this is from when I was in Doveland. So, yeah. So, yeah, what happened? How do people remember something that never actually existed?
Seriously.
Getting into some theories. So some of the theories, this town, maybe it was destroyed in some way, maybe by an earthquake, is one of the theories, that a massive sinkhole came and swallowed up the whole town. But
okay, but that wouldn't be the erasure of it,
yeah. I know.
In all records, state records.
Yeah.
Right? If it just got swallowed.
Yeah, exactly. See that fact, and also there's no fault lines in Wisconsin, so like it's not actually really possible.
Yeah.
It also, like, another theory is that it was destroyed by dams. So this has happened to towns before, and there's actually over 900 dams that were built in Wisconsin over the years. Many of them have been removed or are abandoned, so they're not all, like, in use, but yeah, over 900. So, like, that's a lot. I mean, maybe one of them burst and led to a large-scale flooding and destruction of the town.
Yeah.
But that's still the same case. Like, there would be a record of it. Yeah. So, I don't know.
I mean, unless whatever company could have possibly built the dam, maybe they were trying to hide it and like got it erased somehow, some way.
Like there was a natural disaster of some sort, and then like all the records were deleted and stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
Because also this was in the 90s, so it's like the internet wasn't as widespread.
Maybe it burned down in a fire. That happens often.
I mean, that would still leave stuff behind too.
That's true.
That
is true. A burnt
area. Like, so the next theory I have is that it was destroyed by a military experiment that went wrong.
Okay.
So there's this theory that there was a project. This is actually real. There was a project called Project Sanguine, and it was a plan to bury cables under Wisconsin and use them to create a giant antenna, kind of, to communicate with submarines.
Interesting.
But this project actually never came to fruition. Like, they never actually did it.
Okay.
There was a smaller project that was called Project Elf, and it did like a similar project, like trying to communicate with submarines. But I don't know, some people are like, well, what if they did do the Project Sanguine and they, this town was basically sacrificed to use it?
Yeah. I mean, I could see that happening. And the government would be able to hide the town if that was the case.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like the government can hide stuff.
I feel like, another thing is, like, keeping in mind that this was supposedly in the 90s, it's like, today, it would be much harder to do something like that.
Because people would have evidence.
Yes, there's much more, like, access to this information on the internet. Mm-hmm. And, like, yes, there was the internet back then, but it was way different.
Yeah.
So
people really claim to have been here before?
Yeah.
Okay, well, did they say where it was? Like, do we have an area?
Well, they're like, yeah, it's like in the middle of Wisconsin.
But, like, what's in that area today? Like, have they went back and been like, okay, so this is definitely where I was. But now, is it a lake, a hotel? Like,
well, see, I couldn't find any of those details. Like, I've seen people say, like, yeah, it was there and now it's not.
It is weird that, so, like, this name is, like, in no evidence, no nothing.
No.
So it's weird that people are saying, oh, yeah, I've been there before.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
Really specific place.
Yeah. I do have some more theories. There's a lot of theories, actually, out there.
I bet.
But, so, another one, so I said military experiment, but... maybe it was just a military town that ceased to exist after the end of a war, Mm-hmm. And, towns like this have existed.
Yeah.
And were, dismantled after wars, because there are military towns, like, near bases all over. But, of course, there's no proof. But actually tracing back to, it's the government, maybe they could hide it if it was,
they could, military. If they wanted to, I guess.
So, yeah. So it could just be that the residents moved away because the economy failed. Because there are ghost towns like this all over the U.S., but, I mean, there would still be abandoned buildings.
Right.
And there's not.
Right.
Okay, so now we get into some of the, like, a little bit crazier theories. So maybe it does exist, but it's invisible.
Okay. That is not what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah. So did aliens with advanced technology abduct an entire town?
So this is like WandaVision.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess it's possible.
They just abduct the whole town.
I mean, where did it go?
They took it. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's on like Mars now.
Maybe. Or maybe it's more of a ghost town situation, like actual ghost town, like ghost buildings.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah, okay. Never heard of a ghost building before, but I'm sure crazier things have happened.
Yeah,
stranger things have happened.
Mm-hmm. Like a real ghost town, like ghost buildings.
Yeah, ghost buildings, ghost people, ghost everything.
Yeah. So it's still there, but it's invisible. Okay, this one could be it. The town, maybe people are just mispronouncing the name of the town and they're getting it mixed up with Doveland.
Doveland?
Yeah.
Versus
Doveland.
Doveland? That is pretty close, honestly. I didn't sound like it as much at first, but it is.
Doveland versus Doveland.
Like, maybe they were reading it wrong.
Right, yeah. I mean, when you read it, it doesn't look as close. But when you say
it, it does sound close. Yeah.
So, yeah, Doveland does actually exist. And it's a normal small town in Wisconsin. Is it in the middle of
Wisconsin?
Yeah. And actually, this town was where the P.T. Barnum Circus was started.
Period. P.T. Barnum.
They have a history of, like, the circus there. So
that's cool.
That's what they're famous for, and also possibly with being mixed up with Doveland. I don't know. So, yeah.
I kind of really might think that might be it.
It could be. Or it definitely could be this last one, too. It could have just never existed.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so information on this, like all the theories and people saying that they had been there and stuff, really traces back to 2015.
Oh, okay.
Nothing online really before then, which, I mean, I guess is not really like a big, like, sure, maybe people just didn't start talking about it until then.
Yeah.
Or maybe somebody just made up the story one day in 2015. But
yeah, or maybe like that's when I really feel like that's probably when chat rooms were like, or like Reddit.
Yeah, like people started talking to each other.
I know people were talking to each other like in the early 2000s, but I feel like the 2010s was really when it opened up. So maybe somebody just created it, or maybe finally that was the first time that people could like reach each other.
That could be it too,
yeah.
And, you know, maybe it was just like false memories, like the Mandela effect. Like maybe, you know, one person says something and they're like, oh yeah, like I think I've been there too.
Yeah. It reminds me of the Polybius game story that I covered, that people remember playing the game, but it doesn't exist.
Yes. Yeah.
Like maybe mass hysteria have like low key.
I know. It is crazy like how the human mind works.
Yeah.
It's just like you can all just agree on something that's not even true at all.
But we have to agree, like the Berenstain Bears versus the Berenstein Bears Mandela effect is wild.
It is crazy. But yeah, so that's Doveland, Wisconsin, and I tend to lean towards it's either like a Mandela effect or somebody just actually made it up and people went along with it.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree. If you are out there listening from Doveland, Wisconsin, can we please get your input? Out there,
the ghosts are out there.
Ghosts, hit us up. That's fine. Hit us up.
Or the aliens.
Aliens, ghosts, people, humans. It doesn't matter what you are. We want to hear the story. Does it exist? I don't know. I can't. That was a wild story. And now my skin is itching because I don't have answers. Savannah just loves to not give me answers.
I know. You just have to make up your mind for yourself on these ones, you know?
Then I'm going with the alien theory.
Okay, yeah.
Just because I always do. I guess moving on to my story, Savannah, you were telling the story, and there were so many common themes.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, how did we do this? Every time. I don't understand. So you won't understand it at first, but you will eventually understand it. So I am covering the legend of Lake Norman. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, okay. No, I think I have an idea already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a couple weekends ago, my lovely friends rented me a boat, and we went out on Lake Norman, which is near Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
If anybody knows. And it's a very famous lake. A lot of rich, famous people have houses on the lake because they're like $1 million properties.
That's
I did not
crazy
belong.
to think about.
Yeah. We saw the Earnhardt house, like Dale.
Oh my God.
And we saw Trump's golf course. Yes, he has a golf course on Lake Norman.
Wow.
Along with everybody else famous has houses too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So some big names for sure. And we, honestly, that boat trip, I learned so many things.
Okay.
So many things. And I learned some really wild things also while I was out there. And I immediately knew that I needed to cover this story.
I'm ready.
Let's just jump on in, shall we? So thousands and thousands of people, like thousands upon millions, not really, but of people, they go to Lake Norman every year to fish, boat, do whatever, swim.
Yeah.
All without ever really knowing what lies beneath them. I have lived in Winston-Salem since I was born, and Lake Norman's only an hour away from me, and I never knew any of this information until a couple weekends ago.
Oh. Huh.
And I've been in that lake many times, so.
I think I've been to it once, maybe.
Nice.
I can't fully remember if that was Lake
If you've
Norman
driven through Charlotte, you've driven over Lake Norman.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if I've actually been to it.
Oh, I see. To swim or do lake things.
Yeah.
Yeah. You probably have. It's very big.
Yeah.
So, yeah, up until I was literally swimming in the water of Lake Norman, I did not realize what I was swimming in. And
that doesn't sound good.
No, and if you have ever listened to this podcast, I have said many times, I do not like lake water ever. Ever. I don't like dark water. And so you may have heard I did say that I was swimming. And my friends did, in fact, force me to get in the water. They did. They said they were going to push me in if I didn't jump.
Oh,
and I did take 5 minutes to jump in the first time.
Right, okay.
Because I was panicking.
Yeah.
And this was before they told me anything scary.
Yeah.
So I was already panicking.
I literally would have the same exact reaction because I am scared of that stuff too. I can't do it.
Also, our boat told us how much water was beneath us. Tell me why it was over 100 feet deep where we were swimming.
That's scary.
Yeah. There were some parts of it that was like over 200 feet deep. People, that is insane. Like, I feel like 12 feet is a lot to swim in.
Yeah, I mean,
and then you think about 100, 200. Like, that's crazy. So, while I'm in the water, my friends proceed to tell me, Taylor, do you know what you're swimming on top of? And I was
God.
No. What am I swimming on top of? Hopefully some fish, and that's all. They proceed to tell me that Lake Norman is a man-made lake, which I did know.
Yeah.
But that it was created by flooding multiple towns underneath it.
Okay, I don't understand why that's such a common thing to do. Like, why would they do that?
I do not understand. All the buildings are still under there. Everything is still under there.
That's so weird. It's like, I get that it's deep enough that you're not going to know that it's there, but like...
Right.
It's
still there.
Yeah, like...
And then they're bringing all these fish in, and I'm like, that cannot be good for them, you know? Like,
I mean, I guess it's
like
been there for so long, like,
now.
It's probably... Yeah, but like at first, like, I don't know.
Also, all those people had to move. Where did they go?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if somebody came to your house and was like, actually, you have to sell us your house because we're flooding it and you have to move?
Is that the case, or did they all...
No.
Like, was the town being abandoned anyway?
No. It was like 10 towns and they were moved out.
I mean, it is a huge area.
It is.
That is
crazy. I have how big it is.
Just so they could have, like, tourism in North Carolina?
Yeah. And for these millionaires to have lakes, to have lakefront properties so that they would come to Charlotte.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
When? Okay. Do you have when it was made?
I think I do. Okay. Not right now, but
right, we'll get there. Yeah.
We will get there. I'm trying to look, but no. So, yeah, like I said, to create Lake Norman, they had to flood multiple cities, and there is so much debris down at the bottom. All of the houses, all of the buildings are still there. And like I said, it's multiple towns, but that's not it.
Okay.
I wish that was it.
Wait, what else? How worse can it get?
It gets a lot worse. This list is long. There is an entire Revolutionary War battlefield from 1781 that was flooded. That's down there.
Wait, that should have been like a protected landmark. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's also the remains of a summer camp that was built in the 1930s. An entire summer camp is down there. There are remnants of at least 2 old plantations. Plantations. That's huge. That is literally huge. Homes, highways, and an abandoned airplane crash. Yes.
What? An airplane?
Airplane. You heard me.
There's highways down
there? Highways. Airplane.
Like roads.
Summer camp. Revolutionary War battlefield. Houses, buildings. There's cities under there. And we're just swimming along.
Oh,
like, what are you talking about? Also, let's not even talk about, like, there's cemeteries, bodies. We'll get into more of that later. So,
cemeteries, that's just disrespectful.
Disrespectful.
Like, what?
And apparently, they did say that they removed some. Ain't no way they got them all. Sorry, not to, you know.
And there had to be some unmarked ones.
Obviously, there were unmarked ones. Also, there's a battlefield from the Revolutionary War, babes. That's whole field is a cemetery.
Plantations.
And plantations.
Like, that's
there's bodies. Sorry. There's no way around it. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. My mind was blown when I was reading all of this. But most importantly, what's in Lake Norman, Savannah? But a creature similar to the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh my God.
And his name is Normie.
Normie. Wait, did we cover a similar one
too? We covered one named Normie, but I don't think it was from Lake Norman.
What?
I couldn't find it on the sheet, so I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe we did, but I will talk a little bit more about Normie later, but he's not the primary focus of the story. Right. But he is a focus.
I feel like there was another lake creature.
There definitely was, and maybe it was from Lake Norman. But like I said, he's not the main focus.
I didn't think his name was Normie. I thought it was something else.
See, I remember another water creature called Normie.
Oh.
I swear, or maybe I'm crazy. Honestly, I think this is episode 175. How can we possibly remember what we have talked about for years? You know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's many stories that stand out, but not all. Anyway, so Lake Norman is, in fact, the largest man-made lake in North Carolina.
Okay.
As you can probably imagine. Yeah. It spans 4 counties and over 35 miles. Yeah.
35
over.
miles?
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Like going around it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's literally humongous.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah. It's wild. And so before it was a lake and before it was any of the other things that I named, the land was home to generations of indigenous people from the Catawba tribe.
Okay.
And then later, obviously, the settlers came in, took over the land, and they built everything from like farms to homes to mills. There's like multiple mills down there also, and churches, and yes, cemeteries, of course. So we know how big all of these things that I'm mentioning are. So it's really hard to grasp that all of that is down under the water.
I know.
Like, I really can't actually believe.
Like, I'm literally trying to think about, like, being underwater there.
I'm saying. It was horrifying. And the second they told me, and I didn't even know all of this information. I knew there was a town.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know there were multiple towns.
Yeah.
Amongst everything else I listed.
And see, lakes in general just get me just because of the factor of the creatures, but then add on top everything else. It's like, oh my God.
It's so creepy. It really is. And I also wanted to mention that when we drove by the Earnhardt's house, at least that's what people said, it was the Earnhardt house, they have a submarine, which also ties into your story.
Oh my God.
I saw it with my own eyes. I had never seen a submarine before. And yeah, so that's when I asked my friends, guys, why would they need a submarine?
Right.
And then that's how I found out about all of this stuff that was in the lake.
I mean, like, I guess it would still be fun to have a submarine either way.
Either way, but I was like, no, they have to be looking for something if they're in a submarine, you know? Like, down in the bottom.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially the Earnharts.
I know.
And like, they're not
going down there.
They're going down there for fun and explore.
Because there is a lot to explore, you can tell.
As you can obviously tell. So now I want to go on the submarine, you know?
Yeah.
Even though I am severely claustrophobic and I don't think I could do that.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know if I could either.
Yeah. Like that. I just think of Ocean Gate now, and now I can't. My brain just shuts off.
I think about that.
No. So, yeah. So immediately swimming in that water felt so much less safe, and I did get back in, but only for a second.
But, okay.
Yeah. So let's get back to Normie real quick. Our little Loch Ness monster.
I side note, I was looking at our list of stories, and I found a few that I was like, maybe this is what I'm thinking of, but Normie is not on here.
I know it's not on there.
So
it is really crazy.
Like, there's a lizard man. Obviously, we did that recently.
Of course.
Champy. I think Champy is what I was thinking of. Champy, the lake monster.
I remember Champy.
From Lake
Champlain.
Yeah, that is definitely who I was thinking of. Anyway, back to Normie.
Well, Normie. Go listen to our Champy episode, though.
Yeah,
that one's a cute one.
Mm-hmm.
But Normie, so many cute names.
Yeah. I think that's why it reminded me, because I was like, it's another cute name like that. Yeah. So.
It is. Well, little baby Normie is not so little baby.
Oh, okay.
He is, in fact, the Loch Ness Monster of North Carolina. That's what he's known as.
Right.
And because he lives in Lake Norman, the locals have named him Normie. Which I'm like, we couldn't have named him Norman, but okay. I like Normie better anyway.
I think it's cute.
So Normie has tons of descriptions. And I don't know which one's like 100% true. Some say that his eyes glow in the dark. Others say that they will see like an enormous fin swimming towards them, like huge, but then the rest of his body's underwater.
Okay.
Can't see his eyes. But regardless who you ask, one thing is consistent. Every story says 100% this is like something humongous and way bigger than anything they've ever seen in a lake before.
I mean, yeah, because this lake is huge too. So.
Ooh, I don't even like that. I don't even like the possibility.
Well, I mean, we keep saying this lake is huge, but like you gotta think of the Great Lakes too.
Yeah,
like
not nearly as big as the Great Lakes.
Not nearly, but
still huge. Huge for us.
Yeah, bigger than any other normal sized lake.
It's literally the biggest lake in North Carolina. So I would argue that's pretty big.
Yeah,
like that is
Normie,
pretty big.
He's got to be pretty big.
Indeed. And so the craziest rumor about Normie that I saw was that he is as big as a stretch limousine. I hope to God, if Normie is real, that he's not as big as a limo. Because that's real big.
Yeah.
Don't like that. And the fact that I'll swim in that water with maybe Normie? No. So apparently, companies like around the Lake Norman area will offer boat rides or boat tours of the water. And part of the tour is trying to find Normie.
Oh my God.
Which I love that. That was not part of my boat.
I was going to say,
experience.
Did you guys see him?
I wasn't looking for him, to be fair. I didn't know he was there, but I didn't see him. And we were not told about Normie. So it wasn't the boat company that we went through, but maybe the other ones.
Yeah.
But it is a well-known thing in the area. And so here's where things get a little weird. There was this fishing guide who was local to the area, and his name was Gus Gustafson.
Okay.
And he had his own explanation for Normie and what he was. So Gus, amongst other people, seemed to believe that back like during the creation of the lake, there were these university biologists who got together and were experimenting with genetically changing some fish to basically make them be bigger.
Okay.
Fish.
I see.
And so I don't know. I couldn't really find if this was real, but he seemed to have a lot of information. So it probably was.
So they're saying that Normie is like
Normie is a genetic experiment. He's like Stitch. So apparently the biologist crossed a Wyoming buffalo carp with an Arkansas blue catfish, which are both two really big fish. Mm-hmm. And so some believe that this hybrid fish that these biologists created may have escaped into the lake and started growing its own species in Lake Norman. And some believe that Normie is a product of that.
Oh my God. So that actually sounds like it could be real. And I'm like, I am not swimming in there now. Like, definitely
Savannah,
not.
you know we're renting a boat and you have to swim with Normie. You can't say you're not gonna.
I don't know if I can.
I'm gonna have to push you into the water. Guys, tell me if I should push Savannah into the water. Don't. I'll make sure you have a life jacket on before.
That's gonna be the poll on this.
Should I push Savannah in the water with Normie? I need to know. Also, all I can think about when I say Normie is like Stormy baby.
Oh
like
my God.
Kylie's like Normie baby.
Oh my
God. Okay, so we have Gus's theory in mind, right? But to go sort of against his theory, the legend of a monster in the Catawba River dates back long before the river was dammed to make Lake Norman. Okay. So there was an original water source in the area.
Right.
The Catawba River, and it got dammed to create Lake Norman. So also creating dams in my story, just like your story. Yeah. Weird. So according to an article in the Charlotte Observer, the Catawba Nation had folklore of this monstrously large species of snake. Okay, disgusting. And also giant leech-like creatures in the river centuries before Normie, like in his legend. Wow. So some people believe maybe he's one of these other creatures that the Catawba people believed in, like either a large snake, which I could totally see being somebody be like, oh, that's Normie. It's just a big snake, or a giant leech creature, right? Who knows? So yeah, there are several other theories to explain Normie away. Some people just think that he is just a really big catfish, and people are mistaking him for being like a Loch Ness monster. Or possibly this other large fish called a bowfin, or maybe a large alligator. So any of those things could possibly be what Normie actually is, because nobody has ever caught Normie or even caught really a picture. Not really I could find anyway. Okay. So I did mention before that there was a plane crash under Lake Norman.
Oh my God, yeah.
So this is more Normie lore.
Oh, okay. He's a pilot?
His home is the crash.
Oh my God, he is a pilot.
He is a pilot. So it said that he hides out in the wreck of the wreckage of the plane. So now I'm like, do the Earnhardts know that this is true? And they're taking their little submarine down there to the plane crash, and they're just like looking for Normie?
Maybe.
Because I bet there are so many rewards in, like, if you find Normie, if you find a creature that doesn't exist, you're getting in the science books. Like, I'm trying to find a creature that doesn't exist. If I had the money, I would probably buy a submarine just to see if Normie was real. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, good.
And I know where he is. He hides out in the plane crash, so I don't even have to look hard.
What if he's hiding in one of the houses? He's like, I have my own house down here.
My submarine. I'll just go around all the houses. I'll have to get my
Can you imagine,
diving equipment.
All the sea creatures are like, we have our own houses down here. We have a society.
Honestly, those fish in that lake are lit.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, we moved into this 3-story house on Main Street.
Exactly.
Just take the highway.
They probably got a car down there, and like at least one. Like,
well, yeah. Well.
You don't think so?
Speaking of cars in the lake.
Oh, okay, there are cars in the lake.
What a great transition you made. So, things are still happening in this lake today, in recent years, as you can imagine. Okay. So, just a few years ago, a car was found in Lake Norman, submerged to the bottom. And unfortunately, it contained human remains.
Oh, no.
The car belonged to a woman who was missing for 15 years, and a fisherman actually found the car and immediately called the cops. He was like, okay, I found a car in Lake Norman. They did remove the cars before they flooded the city, so there should not be cars in Lake Norman. Okay. But there are, clearly. So the fisherman called the police. They came and found the body, but
so she crashed into
I guess, and sunk the car.
That's horrible.
Died. Yeah, it is horrible. Nobody knew
for 15 years.
For 15 years. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Yikes. And in case you were wondering, the towns were flooded with water to create Lake Norman in the 1960s, the early 1960s.
Okay.
So that's when it was made, which is not even that old. No. To already be bodies in the water. And unfortunately, not even the woman who was found in the car. There are probably many more bodies down there. People assume all online. Because, I mean, it's such a big lake.
Right, yeah.
Not to say you should dump your bodies there, but I'm just saying people have definitely had the thought. So, surprisingly, somehow, I did not find any evidence about Lake Norman being haunted. I don't know how it's possible.
Okay.
But
it's because it's
the like really deep underwater. Down there. Yeah. They're living in their little town down there.
It's haunted if you're underwater. Like...
Oh, don't tell me that. Ooh, that just sent chills down my spine. That's horrible.
If you get in your submarine, they're all going to get you then.
Oh. So. Well, I hope they do get me. Then I'd have a real good story for the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, needless to say, I'm very much so creeped out to swim in that water ever again.
I know. I am too.
And me and Savannah are going to rent a boat and go.
Oh my gosh, you have to swim. I'm thinking, like, I don't want to anymore.
You don't have a choice.
What?
It's so fun. Just forget everything I just said. You'll forget. Don't worry.
I probably will, but...
Until I remind you.
I'll just be like, something feels off about this place.
I don't think you're going to forget now.
Oh my God.
Is hilarious.
I don't know if I can do it.
No, Savannah, you don't have a choice. I promise. Right, well, guys, you don't even have to vote on the poll because I'm just gonna push her in. I'll make sure she has a life jacket on. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the legend of Lake Norman. Honey, do they have legends? So many.
Yeah.
So many.
God, that was a lot. That was like a few stories in one. Like,
I know. Geez. And for it to only have been open for like 50, 60 years, that's not.
Right.
That is not a great start. Not at all. And all these famous people with houses, do they know this information? I want to know. Probably not. I highly doubt it.
I bet some people did, like, most people probably didn't when they moved in and then, like, learned the stories.
Probably. Yeah. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, definitely go check out our Instagram to see pictures from this week. Well, I don't know how we're going to take a picture of Savannah's because it doesn't even exist.
Well, I said there's a picture that people claim was taken there, so I'll put that.
Also, if you live there, please hit us up because that's important.
Yeah.
And also, while you're at it, rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and check out our YouTube and our TikTok.
Yeah, thank you.
And yeah, I guess that's really all I have for you guys this week. What about you, Savannah?
That's it.
Okay, well then I guess we will see you guys next week.
Cue the music.